Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Andrews, and I am back being accompanied by my good buddy,
Mr. Anderson.
And you are joining us on the movie Joint. And today starts our 2-week that we said that we were going to do for next week, part 2 of the remake of It. Super excited to talk about all these films. This week we are bringing you part 1 of both It the original and It the remake. And this video is, of course, the original It, part 1. And I gotta say, a lot of things in this movie do hold up, but for the most part for me, this movie does not age well. And neither do the scares. This movie scared me when I was a kid, and it doesn't really scare me anymore. What about you?
The exact same way.
Yeah?
I think the movie holds up, though. The acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't read the book.
Oh.
So I'm contemplating reading the book because I saw the new one also.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious which one is more like the book.
Yeah.
You know?
I've heard the new one is.
Yeah.
The new one is because it's more gruesome. This was specific. The originals were specifically made for TV.
It was scary.
It was scary for
20
TV.
years ago.
So the premise, the plot of it is this clown named Pennywise who is haunting this town of Derry, Maine, which I don't know if you know this, but like 80 to 85% of Stephen King's stories happen in Derry or Maine.
No, I never really thought about it.
If you read it, it's pretty cool. He's created
You probably
his own
don't want to
universe.
visit Maine. Buy some clam chowder in a can. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
But yeah, he comes back for a year, feasts on childs and their fears and all that, and then
Every
goes
so many years he comes back.
He leaves for 27 years.
Well, in the first movie, they were rounding it to 30. Every 30 years. And the dates sort of coincided with that also.
Yeah. But then he comes back for a year to do whatever he does, and then he goes. It's kind of like they made Jeepers Creepers kind of off the same story. Have you ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
I have. I don't recall it. I'm not really a horror movie guy.
It's almost the same thing. Pennywise the Clown is played by respectably Tim Curry.
It's the man, Tim Curry.
One of the greatest acting roles, one of the greatest characters, and it definitely shows. Even watching it, we literally just watched both of these movies last night.
Yeah.
We literally watched them last night. We watch all these new movies, all these alternate movies and all that to refresh them in our mind. And his acting was still fantastic.
Oh, he was crazy. Maniacal. Dude was top-notch actor. He's been everything. He's been in everything. He can play anything.
Yep.
Dude is like awesome.
Yep.
He knows it too.
You could definitely, this movie, the story is good. Most of the acting is good. The child actors actually do really, really well in this movie. Especially the lead by Bill, Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
He gets
a
that
great
stutter.
little actor.
He gets that courage type stuff, and I really, really liked him in the original. It's very, very fantastic. He did a great job.
One of the best of the little kid actors.
Yeah, for sure.
He was awesome.
For sure. And then also, I just liked the setting of the movie, and I liked how it starts off showing the adults. Mike.
What happened to him when they was a kid, and dude calling him like, you need to come back. You're going to keep your promise? You
see their scare, and then it goes back and it tells their story, why
they're all traumatized.
Yeah.
And when they leave, well, we'll get into all that, but like, it's pretty intense. From a 20-year-old younger person's perspective, I was afraid of that movie.
Especially one scene that would probably scare. It scared me because I'm terrified of werewolves.
Oh, Richie's scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down in the bay. Oh my God. Anyways, but yeah. So with that being said, the thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't really hold up in today's standards. That's why the
like
new one is
how do you mean though? Like scary wise or
scary
story?
wise, quality. You could definitely tell it's aged. It looks like a TV movie rather than a real productive movie that was released in theaters. You can definitely tell
compared to the remakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And movies out today. It's not scary anymore. There are a lot of movies out there that are more scary. If anything, nostalgia might scare you more.
I was just thinking that word. It's nostalgic to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember being afraid.
Exactly. Yeah. And you remember the parts that you were afraid of.
Yeah.
This movie has. We'll talk about it in depth, but this movie has a fantastic opening scene with the little girl, and then of course the famous scene with the sewer. We'll get into that into detail. Those are my two favorite scenes in the entire movie.
Oh, I got some cool scenes wrote down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, I did like it. It is a enjoyable type of movie.
Classic movie.
It's a classic. The acting is well done. The setting is well done. All the cinematography is pretty good. And yeah,
it's eerie from the get-go.
Yeah,
that holds up still.
Yes, because it's always rainy. It's always kind of cloudy and gray and dark.
Dilapidated town.
That's the setting.
Yeah. That holds up good.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I was thinking 7.
7?
Yeah, I'll give it. It's one of my scary movies, man. I was afraid of that forever. And I remember that watching it again, and I think it held up to a 7.
Okay.
I still wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
yeah.
But
you still watched it. You still enjoyed it.
I was still interested, trying to get scared. I've been on this month-long get scared kick, and I've been so let down. But the movie itself is great. I like it a lot still, and I don't like scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me remember though being a younger kid and afraid, and that's what I'm looking for when I watch scary movies.
Yep.
7.
Yep. All right. So that is that. We are now going to talk about spoilers in depth from beginning to end. Let's get into it. The freaking opening scene is probably my favorite scene, just because it happened so fast in the movie. And it's where you see that it's raining. You see that it's raining. Yeah, little girls on the tricycle.
I think it's overcast.
Or it's about the storm.
Mom's hanging up laundry or taking down laundry.
She's taking it down.
Yeah.
And the little girl's riding her bike to go home. She gets home. The mom goes inside with some laundry, about to come out to get more. It's about to start storming, and in the side of her ear, she hears, "Hey!" in Tim Curry's awesome voice. Oops.
We're in the spoilers. It's cool. It's cool. We know.
No, I said a bad word.
Oh.
Beep.
Censors.
Anyways, and then she looks over, and you see the things flapping and all that, and then you see Pennywise. He's like, "Hey!" and she starts smiling, and he's like, "Do you want a balloon?" and she's like, "Yeah." And then you see him, and he's staring at her, and he's smiling, and then the next time it fades away, it goes to her, comes back to him, he's not smiling anymore, goes back to her, her face goes straight, goes back to him, and he has all these teeth, and he starts rushing at her, and you see her, and you see the camera just coming at her, and something. I love that.
And then you see Mom
looking
for the baby.
And then she finds her.
And she don't find her. She
sees something.
Turned over tricycle.
Well, no, she sees something because she looks down, and then she starts to scream. So she must have seen blood, or her daughter was ripped up. No, TV movie. They can't show.
Okay. 1990.
Yeah, 1990 TV movie. Yeah, they can't show stuff like that. That was already rated R, and there was no blood.
Then, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? But I love that scene.
30 years ago almost.
I love that scene, dude. It really shows what we're in for. Pennywise
Dread the Clown
is going after kids, and he's ruthless, and he's scared, and all that. And then after that scene, of course, it goes to the famous scene with Georgie.
Well, no, it goes up to the bedroom. You got Billy, Jonathan Brandis up there, and he's sick, making Georgie his little sailboat, his little paper.
This is the famous
boat.
Scene. Yeah, it starts all this.
Sends him down to the cellar. Poor little boy's afraid, snatches up the wax. And then he gets all dressed and he's stuttering to him like, be careful, Little buddy goes out in the storm and play with the boat.
Oh man, this scene, it got me. I mean, the scene in this movie, and I am going to talk a little bit about it because you got to compare them. The scene in this movie was done really well, but the scene in the new It really pulled at my heart.
By contrast,
I like Georgie.
1990, 2017,
I like Georgie. Which
is cool because in the new one, the 27 years thing, 2007 is 27 years after 1990.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Yep. And so, so this famous scene is super fantastic. And it's where Georgie's sailboat goes into the sewer. Georgie sticks his face.
The little current of the drains down the curb, He's trotting along, running, having a great time.
He's like, oh no! And then Pennywise pops up. Hiya, Georgie. I love it.
It was pretty maniacal. That's the word that came to mind.
Oh my God.
He was a crazy demon maniac.
He's like
child devourer.
He's like, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown. And then he's like,
well, I think later on he says he's the eater of worlds.
Yep.
That's pretty menacing right there. It's Tim Curry. It's 1990. It was scary.
It was something else for its time.
Oh yeah, it was.
And then after Georgie's, we actually skipped a part because it actually goes after the girl's death. That's when Mike, the black actor.
Oh, you think that was a modern disappearance?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
So
the little girl we saw get it at the beginning, that was what started it over, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then grown-up Mike is investigating, realizes, okay, see, I thought that it was right before Georgie.
No.
Okay.
That was grown up. That was grown up.
Seen that movie 30 times and never knew that.
That's why he called everybody and said it's back.
Okay.
So then he calls Bill and says it's back. Bill is with his girl, and then that's when
when we get Georgie's scene.
That's when we get that scene, and the reason why he has to come back. And then the scene happens.
His stutter comes back.
His stutter comes back, and then it goes to where it just keeps going. It keeps going. It goes to Bill, and then it goes to Ben. Ben is next. Mike contacts Ben, and Ben's story is he is the fat kid, new in town, who gets picked on by the bully of the movie, Henry Bowers, played by Jared Blanchard. And there's a scene in the movie where they're about to cut him, right? They have him and they pull his shirt up, and they're about to cut him. Well, apparently in the books, he actually carves his entire name. And if you notice in the new one, he actually gets the H.
Yeah.
And then in the books, he carves everything. His entire
I might have
name.
to read the book. I want to read the book now.
Apparently, it's really gruesome. But Ben's story is that he's a new kid in town. He's getting bullied and all that stuff, and then he has the vision, or he sees his dad. His dad who passed away. By
the sewer thing.
Yeah.
The big thing sitting up out of the little marshes.
Yeah. his dad passed away in Vietnam.
Is that after he escaped from Henry Bowers?
Yes.
And he falls down the little thing, and then he sees the thing.
He sees his dad.
Okay.
He's like, "Come on, Ben. There's all kinds
And
of
he turns
candy."
into Pennywise.
He's like, "Aha." He's like, "You want a balloon?" They all float.
He kept calling him chubby or fatty or pudgy or
something like that.
Yeah. He
kept
was
making
digging
fun
on
of
his fatness. Yeah. And
But,
I think that's where he meets up and meets the little group, the Losers Club. They're down there playing in the stream, building a dam, you know.
Yeah, because after he sees that, he hears them screaming and talking over that, I think. Or no, he goes.
He hides in the little
he hides
sewer
in the little sewer thing.
too.
Yeah.
And then comes out.
Yep. And then he sees them. And then that's his story. He meets up with them, becomes friends with them. They start the Losers Club. And his story gets ended, and it goes away.
And go into the little girl scene.
Mike contacts Beverly, who is played by Emily Perkins as the little girl, the younger girl, and then also as the older lady played as Annette O'Toole. And this story, just like in the new one, is really kind of hard to watch. Because I couldn't imagine a little girl going through something like this.
Man, it was something. The little balloon comes up out of the drain and swells up.
Pop.
Oh man, covers her in blood, covers everything with blood.
She did a fantastic job in that scene too.
Oh, that little kid was authentically terrified.
You know how hard it would have been for not only her but also the dad to pretend that he doesn't see all that red blood.
Yeah,
and all
didn't see
that.
nothing.
And then when he says, "What do you see? I don't see anything," and he's putting his hands on the blood, and she realizes that he can't see it, but she can. That's when she makes up the story and all that. Emily Perkins did a really, really good job in all of that.
You'll die if you try.
Yes.
You'll die if you try. It was crazy. Man, that was scary.
Yeah.
Scary. 30 years ago, like really scary.
Is there anything else in her scene other than the bathroom that really, really happened?
Yeah, you'll die if you try.
So that was it. Yeah, that was afterwards.
And she was the bathroom's all bloody and she's traumatized. Yeah.
Yep.
Letting her know, like, you'll die if you try. Crazy. I wrote that down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next comes Mike contacts Eddie, played by a very, very young and very funny Seth Green.
No, Richie. Richie is Seth Green.
Or no, that's Richie, yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie is Adam.
Eddie's the little tiny wheezy guy.
Yeah. And Dennis Christopher as the older self. His scene is where he is not allowed to take a shower with the rest of the kids.
His mom don't want him
germaphobe, all that stuff, and all that. So then he goes back into the bathroom. The coach stops him, says, "Did you take a shower?" He said, "No." He's like, if you sweat, you gotta take a shower. So then he goes back and he starts hearing stuff, and all the little shower heads start turning on.
No, they start turning the cold off, and then the hot gets turned on.
Okay.
And then they start growing out of the walls to try to get him cornered or whatever. And my dude's in the drain.
Yeah.
I wrote that down too, and he's like, "This is a little uncomfortable," and comes up out of the floor.
Yeah.
That scared me when I was a little kid too.
Did it?
This time I know it's coming. You know, it's a little less graphic than, you know.
And that was the first time where we actually, I'm pretty sure that was the first time we actually got to see him change his face.
Well, no, at the beginning with Georgie, you saw his eyes go yellow and the teeth, and he's.
But you didn't get a real solid look at it. In this one, he rises up real slow, and you clearly see everything. His eyes are yellow-red, teeth are all sharpened and jagged. He's gonna eat him,
a little boy.
Yeah, that was creepy. That was super, super creepy. You want to take over? What's next?
What's next? Did they go back?
You got
Because Bill, they go back to him at some point during the middle of the flick, and he's going to look in George's room, feeling all bad and missing his brother, and he gets that little book.
Yeah.
The storybook scene, I got that wrote down. And then, like, the book starts bleeding on Georgie's picture, and he's like, I'll kill you all. I'll kill you all. And he just kept saying it. He's like all freaking out, spazzing. There's blood. The parents come in and pick up the storybook, and no blood. Like, we told you, we don't want you in here. We told you to stay out of here. And they put the book back up, the bloody storybook, back on the shelf, and there's the little smear puddle of blood there where the, oh man, that was
that where it flipped to the picture?
Yeah.
And he's walking through the picture?
no, it's just a headshot of Georgie, and then it starts seeping, eking blood out, and it covers the picture, and it starts getting into the floor, and then I think it might do the little page turning thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I think he sees Pennywise again.
Yeah,
Or
there's
they tell him, like,
another time, I don't know.
I'll kill you all.
I don't remember if it was him by himself or everybody together. But they're looking through the book.
That's when the page turning thing happens.
And then it's a thing where there's a horse and a carriage, and it starts moving. And you can see Pennywise in the background coming closer, backflipping, and then he sees him. And he jumps up onto the pole. He's like, ah! He's like, I'm gonna get you no matter what, and all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super, super cool. Next is Richie's story.
Okay, and he's
Played by Seth
having
Green.
an altercation in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Seth Green.
And Harry Anderson.
Oh, that's who is Harry? Oh, Harry's the grown-up
Yes,
Richie. Okay,
yes.
so he's in the cafeteria, and the bully Bowers stops him and is saying something to him. Maybe it's about the theater scene. I think we skipped the theater scene. I wrote that down too.
Well, the theater was pretty much right before.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to the theater.
Yeah, the theater scene. They're doing whatever they're doing, and they're sitting back, chilling, having a good time. And the little scrawny Eddie kicks his feet up, and he kicks the popcorn over and down there. And just below them happen to be the little group of bullies.
Henry Bowers.
And they get all popcorn. The dude's name was Belch, his little buddy that got it.
And by the way, they were watching a werewolf. They were watching The Wolfman, I think.
Yeah. Return of the Wolfman or something. It gives you a scene that's got the marquee and tells you the movie.
But it's why. Yeah, it's the Wolfman and Richie.
That leads into Richie's encounter back in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
But then Richie gets up and looks down and sees who they spilled the popcorn on, and then grabs the soda up and just dumps it down on him.
What's he say? I can't remember. He said something.
Some little smart ass remark.
Yeah.
And then they bail. They're running. Dude is angry. Dude's gonna kill him for that. So that leads into the next day at school or something. When he's in the cafeteria, Richie runs up into Henry Bowers and he's saying something. I know it was you, wasn't it? It was you. Da-da-da-da-da. And he gets him with the tray of his food that was in his hand. Gets it all on him. And he goes to run, and dude slips and falls, and he runs into
principal, teacher.
Richie runs into like a staff member and gets them with their own tray or something. And he's like, oh yeah, something, Bowers, Richie, whatever, you know, go down the stairs to Mr. So-and-so and get a mop and clean this shit up. So he's going downstairs or whatever, and he knocks on the janitor's door, the custodian or whatever. He's trying to get the mop to go clean up his mess, and nobody answers the door. So he starts wandering around down there, and then he sees something. And he follows it, and he gets a little lost in the boiler room or whatever, and he's back there, and then he sees it coming. And then it starts coming into frame, and you see that it's like...
You see the hands first.
Yeah. And he's afraid of werewolves like this guy. So he's screaming in terror and da-da-da. And then I'm pretty sure he like morphs into Pennywise while he's chasing him.
Because he's running away.
And he's running, and Pennywise is about to get him, and then he runs into this teacher lady. she's like, "Oh, what are you doing? What's happening?" And he just goes on about his business and leaves. Which leads us into, was it Mike's scene next?
Yes.
And they tell you how he ended up meeting the little clique of kids in the first whatever traumatizing events that happened to him, and he's delivering something on his bike, riding with this little historical documentary book of all the bad things that happened in Derry over the decades. And
that was
they
one
run
thing
up
that they
on him
changed.
like something, calling him, racist names and picking on him like, "Get out of my town, you're an outsider," da 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 da, and trying to beat him up. And somehow he gets away.
Yeah, I forget how.
I don't remember how he gets
Yeah, I
away,
forget
but he's
how he
riding
gets
his
away.
bike and he's fleeing or whatever, and
He meets up with the
he ends
losers.
up, I think, being on foot. Because he's running, they caught him, he's running. He must have been running for miles. He runs across the group of kids, and he falls down there exhausted, and they're like, "You know what, we gotta help him, And that's when they do the rock fight. And they stand up for little Mike Hanlon, and they beat dudes up with rocks and run them off. And that's when Bowers is like, "I'm gonna kill you all of you, I'm gonna kill you all."
He's like, "Yeah, get an original line."
Yeah,
He
called
says
him
that all
some
the
name.
time. And that is one thing in this movie and in the remake that I did not like. That was one scene that I did not like.
The rock scene?
The rock scene. I think
the newer rock scene was more detailed and realistic. Like, they would have thrown rocks back. They wouldn't have just stood there
I know,
like that
but
and got beat up with rocks.
I know, but you getting hit with those big rocks and those big balls, you wouldn't be throwing them back. You'd be hurt.
Well,
Especially when he got hit in the head.
Oh, he got rocked.
You know what I mean? No
They
pun
fended
intended.
off the bullies, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
No pun intended. He got rocked.
Anyways,
They fended him off. Ran him off.
but yeah,
That's when they met Mike. And
then he
then we
joins.
got, what do we got left? Stan. Stan's the guy that
he was with Richie.
doesn't come back.
Yeah.
He was reserved for the whole time, afraid more than the rest of them, and definitely apprehensive about agreeing to it. Matter of fact, he was the last one to make the promise that he would come back.
Because
And
it actually goes around him and it skips him.
yeah,
Because
and
he
comes
didn't know,
back
and
to
then it
him.
comes back, yeah.
And he's so afraid as a grown up that he like kills himself. Like he
Slices his own wrist.
He
And you can hear Pennywise laughing in the background.
crazy.
Did he have a kid story? Did they talk about his?
Yeah.
What was it?
He was the one that was wandering around. He got broke up from the group, and Bowers caught him in the somewhere down in the sewer, and he had that Belch dude with him, and the light starts coming up through the tunnel there,
Yeah.
and then takes Belch, and he squishes up into the thing and gets drove, and then it comes back, and then it shows
He's
the
like,
deadlights.
Belch!
And then you see Henry Bowers frozen with fear standing
White
there.
hair.
Stanley makes his break for it then, and then it cuts back to Bowers and his hair's all frightened white. I don't know why he didn't get killed, but you find out later that he took the rap for all the killings, and they admitted him into like a nut hospital or
That's
whatever.
part 2 though.
That comes in later, and yeah. I like we'll talk about the new one later, but that whole part in the new one was a lot cooler also.
Yeah.
Like, because it was using him.
Yeah. And so, his death is actually the end of part 1. It fades out and then it starts into part 2.
Well, no, we skipped the whole go take out Pennywise scene.
Well, no, I'm just
They
talking
go-
about that's the end of part 1 in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, they as
before
the kids,
that,
yeah.
they show him going back to the sewer to try to take a stand and kill him. And they run him off. They didn't kill him, obviously, but
You
like,
find out Bev is a little badass.
she's a little sharpshooter with the slingshot.
Yeah.
She takes him out and cracks his skull open. Again, you see the deadlights. That light, like leading a moth you know, to the flame. Like they were, that's how he, I guess, got him to be still or long enough to get to him.
I read some sort of lore that even in the new one, when he opened his mouth to Beverly, and you see
And
the three lights.
Well, the souls and the voices of the kids are up in him or something.
No, they're up there. But those three lights are actually the monster itself.
Oh, well, they were
like
talking through his maw. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. That movie is cool.
But
so
yeah,
so they're
going down, they're fighting, and they lose all kinds of stuff. He's like, it's not
Stanley.
real. It's not real. And you see the hands come up over Seth, over Richie, and it's werewolf hands because he's afraid of the werewolf. And he's like, it's not real. You're not real. And the hands go away because that's how Pennywise feeds
off the fear.
Feeds off of fear
and flesh. But yeah.
So almost like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Well, he caught Stan and was gonna eat him, and that's when Bev hit him with the sure shot in the forehead. Little chunks of silver they had, you know, like killing a werewolf. Whatever reason they thought silver might be a benefit to them, and it cracks a hole in his head. It didn't bust him open, or he's like a
shining light,
crazy paranormal, spectral, demonic entity. You know, crashed him open, you know, and he starts screaming or whatever, and lets Stanley go. That's how he didn't get it when they were kids. And then I guess he scurries off. He's screaming and
scurries off down into the well.
Okay.
And they grab his hand. Or
he reaches up.
He finds a drain, and he's going down into it, and he has his hand up.
And snatches somebody. Was it Billy?
No, Billy goes and grabs his hand to pull him back up.
Okay, that's how.
And then everybody else starts helping, and then that's when he changes into his real self.
His grip slips off. He's got these crazy tentacle-like, monster-like, I wouldn't say tentacles either, looking like some crazy roots or earthworm-looking. It was crazy.
It was
like
weird.
Some giant bug.
And you know that he's something different.
Oh yeah.
The real form of him is something completely different than what we're seeing, which we do get to see in part 2.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, he's gone. They leave, and then that's when they make the pact.
This is the help me scene. That's like that Jonathan Brandis boy was so good, man. It was all authentic.
They're all sitting there talking like, what are we going to do?
You felt his pain. He's like crying, please help me, just help me. And the girl runs up to him, and then Ben comes up, and then they all start, you know, like, we got this, we'll do this. And he was like, promise me you'll come back. Promise me if it ever comes back that you'll come back and we'll hunt it down. And he's so overwhelmed with sadness and fear and, well, essentially desperation. Please help me. Please help me.
We have it on the run. We have it hurt.
Oh, no.
We know.
See, we just got backtracked. That's before they hunt down it, the help me scene. And then the making the pact scene is after they come back out. But regardless, that help me scene, I'm like, that boy is amazing. Yeah. You know, and that made me look him up and find out what happened, and, you know, in real life. He was a fantastic actor.
Yep.
He was something.
And so then they make the pact, you know, Losers Club agree if it does happen to come back.
We'll all come back.
We'll all come back. They're stronger as a group. They're stronger as one. They can take him down.
We'll stop it.
All that, and they'll stop him. And they're going to be grown up, so they're going to be stronger. They're not going to be as afraid.
We'll be wiser.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that's the end of it with the spoiler talk.
Clips to Richard Thomas, like when the movies are overlaid and it don't break down to parts, and then you know that it's the second part because the grown-ups are converging on Derry.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
7. The original It Chapter 1 is creepy from the get-go. Fantastic acting all around. The story is Stephen King's story. You know, it's definitely horror personified. He's the master of scaring people. The nostalgia, too, factored into my rating because it made me remember when I was a lot easier frightened.
So
You know,
again,
it was
7 out of 10,
7 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. Really, really enjoyable movie. Like you said, great acting. Tim Curry as Pennywise will hold up for the rest of time.
Forever. He was the man.
Yep.
He is the man. He's alive still. He's
Yep.
the man. He could do everything, been everybody. Yeah.
Completely awesome. And that is our review.
Go
Super
get it
awesome.
somewhere. Vintage copy. Put it in your collection. It's worth having. Classic.
Now,
Awesome flip.
we come into the remake.
Now, this is the end of our video. Thank you for tuning in and viewing us, and, you know, do that little spiel you do.
Alright.
And we're going to do the next video. Let's
Yeah,
do-
I got
let's-
you.
Yeah.
Alright, so next we got It, the remake, 2017, Chapter 1 is the next video. So excited to talk about it. Oh, yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
If you liked it, please share, subscribe. Appreciate you coming to the Moonavie Joint, and we'll see you, well, here in a minute
In a
if you
couple
click on the
minutes.
video.
Alright, y'all, have a good one.